Today we're jumping into Doc Murphy's book, Healthy Habits for Healthy Living. And what's really interesting here is that it offers this unique, faith-based take on health, arguing that our well-being is completely tied to our own personal responsibility and what he calls a divine blueprint. All right, let's get into it.
So the book kicks off with this statement. I mean, wow. It's designed to stop you in your tracks, right? It really challenges that common idea that we should just wait for some kind of divine intervention to fix our health, when, as the author argues, maybe we're the ones causing the problems in the first place.
And that leads us straight to the core question of this whole book. Is your health something that just happens to you? Is it just bad luck? Or is it the direct result of the little choices you make day in and day out?
Okay, so let's dive into the first section. This is where he lays out the problem he's trying to solve, which he sees as a health crisis directly linked to a lack of personal responsibility.
Here's the book's main idea, laid out plain and simple. A lot of people are praying for miracles to cure things like obesity or diabetes, but the author argues these issues often stem from not taking care of the bodies they were given. It's about mismanagement, not a lack of miracles.
And to really hammer this point home, the book brings in this verse from Proverbs. The idea is pretty clear. The first step to getting healthy is to stop looking for someone or something else to blame and to start looking at your own choices. And the scale of this problem? It's just staggering. The book points to a major study that estimates poor diet is behind about 11 million deaths across the globe, every single year. I mean, just think about that number for a second.
And look, this isn't some far-off issue. Right here in the US, you've got over 40% of adults, that's almost half, classified as obese. This kind of data is used to show just how urgent this conversation really is.
So you might be asking, okay, what's the solution then? Well, the book proposes we need to get back to what it calls the original blueprint for health. Let's dig into what that actually means. The core concept is something called God's menu. This is the author's term for what he sees as the diet humanity was originally designed to eat, right from the book of Genesis. And what's on that menu? It's all seed-bearing plants and fruits. That's it.
You can really see the dietary shift the book talks about here. First, you have the original menu, just plants and fruits. But then, after the time of Noah, the menu changes to include, well, every moving thing. The author argues this was a huge, fundamental change for human health.
And this pretty much sums up the entire philosophy of the book. The idea is, if we eat the way we were originally designed to, our food itself is our medicine. It's all about prevention, not just reacting once we're already sick.
But it's not just about what you eat, and the book is really clear on this point. It argues for a truly holistic approach, where our physical, mental, and spiritual health are all deeply connected.
So beyond the food, these are the other pillars of health according to the author. How we manage stress, whether we practice forgiveness, if we get enough sleep, and even the words we say, all of it is presented as having a direct impact on our bodies. Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. The book makes a specific claim that holding a grudge isn't just a spiritual problem. It actually points to medical literature that suggests unforgiveness can have tangible, negative effects on your body, almost like a disease. And to back that up, there's this quote from Dr. Michael Berry connecting that emotional state of anger to a real biological process. Basically, being in a state of chronic anxiety pumps your body full of stress hormones, and that can actually weaken your immune system. So what do you do about it? How do you take control? Well, the book uses this great analogy. Think about a thermometer. It just tells you what the temperature is. It reacts. But a thermostat, it sets the temperature. The goal is to be a thermostat, to proactively change your own emotional and spiritual atmosphere to improve your health. So let's get practical. To help people actually make these big changes, the book offers up a memorable acronym, a whole framework designed to break those unhealthy cycles. You know how people often say things like, oh, diabetes runs in my family? Well, the author challenges that idea, reframing it. Maybe it's not the genes that are passed down, but the habits, the poor diet, the negative talk, the lack of exercise. It's a cycle passed from one generation to the next. And this is the CIR-CLE framework for breaking that cycle. It's a 6-step plan that really guides you through it all. You start with the right mindset, you count the cost, then you move into action. Initiate a plan, reset your thinking, and stay consistent. And it doesn't forget those holistic parts either. Love life, and of course, exercise. When you boil it all down, the book's entire philosophy really comes down to one final, super important distinction.
This isn't about some quick fix or a 30-day challenge. The author really emphasizes that the original plan for health was meant to be a sustainable, lifelong approach. It's a lifestyle, not a temporary diet you go on and off of.
So if you're looking for the key takeaways, it really comes down to these 4 core habits. Eating from that plant-based God's menu, using positive, life-giving words, making sure rest is a priority, and, you guessed it, staying active.
And the book leaves us with this final, really powerful question. It pushes the whole conversation way beyond just food. It asks us to think about everything we consume, our food, our thoughts, our words, and how all of it is shaping the person we're becoming. It's a fascinating thought to end on, isn't it?